The story I'm about to share is a cautionary tale to those who may be wanting to rent or buy a property, to do as much research as possible. I wish that my husband and I had. I moved from Ohio, where I was born, to Massachusetts to get a fresh start. After being in Massachusetts for a while and finding myself, I met the person that I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Charlie and I dated for a year, then after getting married started looking for a place to rent and call our own. It was not long before we found a beautiful little house in a very quiet neighborhood. The house was very overgrown but had a lot of potential, so Charlie and I decided to jump on in. To give a little bit of layout of the house, it is 3 bedrooms. The master bedroom and a fairly large bedroom upstairs and a very small bedroom off of the dining room. All was well, and we adjusted to the moving in process, but not long after we started to notice strange occurrences little by little. The first to happen was when Charlie was upstairs in bed while I was downstairs browsing the internet and watching TV, being the terrible insomniac that I am. All of a sudden, Charlie came running at breakneck speed down the stairs and asked if I had just been up there. Of course, my response was no. He went as pale as could be and told me that he has been lying in bed dozing in and out and felt the blanket being pushed up so that his feet were out, and a cold hand had caressed his foot. Shortly after that, we moved our bedroom into the much smaller bedroom downstairs. However, the activity continued. We would hear heavy footsteps going up and down the stairs, have bowls and pans spin clockwise while untouched on the counters, see a dark, full-bodied figure walk past our bedroom door and disappear, a knife being lifted and thrown across the kitchen by an unseen force, while being outside looking up into the window of the master bedroom, to see an elderly lady staring down and having our dogs bark intently into the corner of our room at something we cannot see. Finally, Charlie and I talked with our neighbors to see if they could give any insight to the previous owner of this house or the previous owners. We found out that this house was built in 1700s, and the elderly lady that owned this house died here at the age of 101 years old. We have no doubts in our mind that the spirit in the house is that of the previous owner. So I set out to go upstairs and try to make peace with her. I told her that I know this is her house, but now it is our house too, and we must make peace with each other, so that we can cohabitate, or if she wants help crossing over and going to the light, where her loved ones wait for her, I would be happy to help her. I also told her that Charlie and I want to keep the house nice and she is welcome to stay if she likes, but she cannot be doing anything that is harmful in any way. We continue to live in the same house, and once in a while she makes herself known, but things are a lot more peaceful. Last year at around September 1st, I went over to my friend's house for a party. It was about 1 in the morning and everyone but myself and 4 other girls. I was the only one there who believed in ghosts and paranormal activity, which they always made fun of me for, and they decided to play an Ouija board. I decided that instead of being a wimp about it, that I would act as if I didn't believe it, and I started to question it and ask it to prove its presence. That was the first mistake of many that we had made that night. We asked a couple of the normal questions until one of my friends asked if the spirit wanted to hurt us. Its response was, "Only one." We started to get creeped out, and the same friend who asked if it wanted to hurt us asked who it wanted to hurt. It started to spell out my full name, Natasha, which I've always hated and always gone by Tasha or T. My friends never called me by my full name since they knew about my hate for that name. I pulled my hand off the planchette and went outside as soon as it said that. My friends made the mistake, which I found out later, was that they never said goodbye to the board. That night, I have almost no memory of it. I only remember brief moments, which also happened to be the times that I would get migraines and nosebleeds. My friends took videos to show me and told me that I was acting weird, my voice had changed, and at brief moments I was even talking in different languages. That night wasn't the only occurrence of that, though. My family told me that I was acting different and that my voice was off. Like that night, the only times that I remembered it was when I was getting migraines and nosebleeds. 2 weeks after that, I thought that I was back to normal. My friends and family thought that too. until I suddenly got hospitalized for an entire week for the pain that doctors couldn't figure out. My kidney had gotten too bad that it almost shut down. They could think of no reason that it would have happened. I got every type of medical test you could have done, yet nothing showed up. One day, the same day that I was scheduled for a surgery to take out my kidney, all the symptoms that I had were gone. After one day of a careful watch with no symptoms, I was released. Since that incident, I have never felt like I was alone. I always hear people talking when there's no one there. I sometimes feel someone grabbing my hands. I've even had the feeling of someone grabbing my neck to the point that I couldn't breathe. I've been known to have paranormal experiences too, but after that night, instead of harmless things, it's been dangerous and threatening. I love my grandparents. I always have had a great relationship with them, but I hate their house. The house has been in our family for over a century and was owned by my great-grandmother before it was passed down to my grandfather. However, something had always seemed off about the house. My friends would go over there and they would say that it's cold, even though the air was off, or I feel like I'm being watched, was also another common thing for them to say to me. Well, when my great-grandmother passed away, me and my mother moved into the house. We lived there for about a month, but moved back to our old house. I never want to spend the night in the house after what happened. In my old room, I had a bathroom. It was very small. It had enough room for a toilet and a small sink, but that was it. The night we moved in, I woke up in the middle of the night for no reason. I got up and went to my bathroom when the door behind me shut on its own and locked. My bathroom lock was broken, meaning it shouldn't have been able to lock, and the only light in the bathroom besides my phone went out. I've always have had an obsession with ghost hunting, which made me a peculiar child, so I already had a ghost hunting app. I didn't believe worked until after that day. It was a simple app with a radar and a text box over the radar. It was supposed to tell you whatever the spirit was saying. I remember feeling like someone was breathing down my neck when the door unlocked and the radar picked up one word. Run! I ran back to my bed and hid under the covers till I fell asleep. The next day I was exhausted but went to sleep soundly. Once again, however, I woke up in the middle of the night for no reason. I figured it was because I was hungry. I went to the kitchen and got a snack. The kitchen is connected to the living room, and the living room has a door that leads outside. Then there's the pantry. The pantry was a room that branched off of the kitchen and had no door. I was in the kitchen when, I swear I really say this, I saw a dark figure in it pick something up, turn to me, and disappear. I wanted to scream, but from the terror I was feeling, all I could get out was, "What the hell?" I went to go back to my room, but the living room door slammed shut just as I walked towards it. Once again, I felt something or someone breathe down my neck, causing me to flinch and jiggle the door knob in desperation. Finally, after what felt like forever, the door opened, and I ran to my room once again, hiding. However, I didn't sleep. I kept hearing footsteps on the porch. My mother blamed raccoons, but I don't think they could impersonate the sound of footsteps perfectly. The next night I decided to try to sleep in the den, considering I never felt scared there. Foolish mistake. I laid there restless with my phone. Finally, it picked up a signal. Quentin was what it said, and it caused me to freeze. Quentin was my great-grandfather's name. I felt so sick. I laid there praying that Mom would wake up, and luckily it stopped. I don't know why, but that was the last bit of activity in the house that I've seen. I'm glad we moved back. Just seeing the house makes me uncomfortable.
If you enjoy the video, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to support us, share it to your bestie.